Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show and one of my very favorite series, Heroes Always Welcome, with one of my favorite human beings, the one and only Brian Warner is with us today. It's been a long time coming. He's a dear friend, an old friend. He's an Orlando dude. Aren't you a Colonial graduate like me too?
No, but Linda has very tight ties to both Winter Park High and Colonial, so
I knew it. I knew
possibly
somebody
you
else.
could see us at one of these events or both of these events, actually.
But we're gonna talk to Brian. He's gonna share his journey, and he is a realtor guru. I'll say it, you won't. But he also gives back to the community and is a proud veteran and a dear friend. Welcome, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Ted. Happy Fat Tuesday to you. And
That's right. Happy Fat Tuesday.
So glad to be here. You know, I'm very blessed, and I really appreciate the opportunity for me to talk about some of the things that I'm passionate about.
So tell us about you. That's what they want to know. I want to know your passions. I want to know your point A to point B, but the audience loves a little origin story. So start there and then let's dive right in.
We'll start at the very beginning then. I was actually born in Buffalo, New York, and raised in a suburb of Boston, and attended engineering school in the early 80s and found that wasn't for me. So I moved to Hawaii, lived in Hawaii for a little while, and that really wasn't working out for me. A white guy in the early 80s in Hawaii was an experience. Let me leave it at that. So I joined the Navy there and changed my life. I went into the nuclear field. Fast forward, 30 some odd years, and here I am, chairman of the Lone Sailor Navy Memorial. I'm still in kind of disbelief that the Central Florida Navy League chose me to do that. But my Navy years were very short. I have got the utmost. Really appreciate those that have spent an entire career in the Navy. Didn't have an opportunity to retire, but when I got out of the Navy, I found myself kind of lost. I joined the Postal Service. And after 20 years, I became a realtor. Linda was a realtor. Linda's my wife. I met her in 1990. And we just started kicking butt and taking names. And the rest is history on that. But as far as my Navy background, I really didn't get back into the Navy until after I got involved with FAVOB. So FAVOB, for those that don't know, is the Florida Association of Veteran-Owned Businesses. That's why I met Michael Waldrop and a group of other veterans who own businesses. And Michael actually just got the information from the veteran site and said, "Hey, let's have a meeting." And one day in 2011, we all met. And here's a fun fact: FAVOB was once called the Florida Association of Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Businesses. So that would be FAVSVOB.
I didn't know that. Maybe I did. Maybe I've been involved I re-upped. I joined again recently. I love FAVOB, and if you have not checked it out, it's just FAVOB, just like Brian said, and I can get you the link. It's an amazing group. Amazing group.
It's actually favob.net now. It was favob.org. And just a little plug for FAVOB. They do have an event coming up this Thursday, the 23rd, which is a Military Service to Business Success Summit. If you're watching this and it's too late, you could still reach out to the group, and there may be some takeaways from that you can get to see, but it is happening on the 23rd.
Yeah, I'll put that in the comments below too, because I would love more people to get involved. And one of the reasons we do Heroes Always Welcome, you touched on a little bit. So I want to take you back for a minute and then we'll go to passions. You said that you had a hard time when you transitioned out. Like you had, how did you overcome that? Because I think a lot of vets get out of the service and then they're just not sure what to do. They were highly trained for something very specific in the military, and then they weren't exactly sure what to do out in the crazy world of corporate corporate America or corporate world. How did you struggle? What was your struggle, and how did you figure out what you wanted to do?
That's a great question, Ted. I'll tell you a little bit more about my background, then I'll answer your question. So this is what I experienced. So as I was working, I went to work for the Postal Service and kind of put the military behind me, and founded the started my real estate company after I got out of the Postal Service, and I started to reconnect with those that were once somebody that you dealt with on a regular basis. And I met Michael Waldrop in 2011, and we founded, the same year we founded, May of 2012, FAVOB. I founded my real estate company. So that's another fun fact. But the camaraderie that you can get by hanging out with other veterans is really something that's not, it's not tangible. It's something that's hard to describe. Specifically when you're dealing with somebody with the same branch of military, you know, that you went through your basic training. Some of your A schools might have been the same. Some of your MOSs would align with others, and you say, oh, you were the guy that did that. They say, oh, okay, I was the guy that did this. And, you know, then the stories just flow. And there's so many stories, Ted, you know, and I think everybody loves for their story to be told and to be heard. And I'm also a member of the RTC Orlando group, which is the Recruit Training Command Orlando. So we used to have a Navy base right here in Orlando.
I remember
from 1968 to 1998, roughly. Those were the years they were pushing recruits through there. And after my FAVOB years, I started volunteering for the Navy League here in Central Florida, which is, by the way, a model chapter. Our group has really done some fantastic things. And I won't, you know, get into all that, but if you're interested in serving in some capacity, we always have projects going on monthly. You know, reach out to me and we'll get you connected with that. But yeah, I think the bottom line is to not self-medicate. Don't just hang out at home watching the TV doing the same thing. I think that hanging out with other veterans is probably the most important thing to do.
I from every veteran that I've spoken to, it is the number one thing that helps them, because as a civilian, as somebody who's never served, I can only know so much, but I can never know your experience, and that shared experience that you all have, no matter what branch you're in, it's still that camaraderie, that brotherhood and sisterhood that's palpable when you all get together. It's one of the reasons why I love this particular series on my show, is because I just feel like there are so many stories, like you mentioned, and there are a lot of veterans out there who haven't made the connection, who are struggling, who may not know about FAVOB, or may not know about the Navy League, or they may not know how to reach out. And so, like you said, they're at home. There's a lot of PTSD for a lot of vets. There's just a lot of things that you all deal with, sacrifices that are made. And I just think it's a beautiful thing that there are advocates out there like you who can talk the talk with them.
Yeah, you think you hit it right on the head there. There are so many resources out there. And a lot of times as a veteran, you're not going to be aware of that. Hanging out with the veterans can help lead to better things. The right doctor, the right contact at the VA claims, help with the process with the claim, with a VA claim. I mean, you name it. You name it. I get calls a lot for veterans that need places to stay.
Yes. And
while helping them ultimately buy their own home is my objective, we still strive to help people that are near homeless. So one of the other things that I've done in my past was volunteer at the Orlando Regional Realtors Foundation. I'm the outgoing chair from that, and we build our own Heroes Commons at Jefferson Park. We built our own tiny community for veterans.
Amazing! It's just
6 homes
tell them about that. I want to hear more detail. I don't think the world knows. I know because I'm in it, but I love this project. I love what you all do.
Yeah, so it's actually the first of its kind. They're 6 single-family homes that were basically built, constructed, and I'm not going to say given to the veteran, because the veterans still need to be responsible for taxes and utilities, but basically a mortgage-free home, and that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, the system isn't perfect. We still need to work out some of the more details if we do a project similar to this again. But yeah, the realtors kind of found out about me, and I was excited to join. And in 2016, I became a trustee on that board over there at the Realtor Foundation. And by the way, Ted, I also wanted to mention to you, you've been a fantastic partner and a friend to both the realtors and the Central Florida Navy League. And I want to publicly commend you, your wife, your businesses on supporting them, because without folks like you, I mean, we really wouldn't get much traction.
It's very, very kind. Thank you. It's a blessing and an honor. And I say that and I mean it. Like, whatever I can do to give back, whatever I can do to bring awareness or put a spotlight on all of the amazing men and women who have served or currently serve, and all of the projects like the Lone Memorial, the Lone Navy Memorial. Say it again for me, because I'm drawing a blank.
No, Lone Sailor Navy Memorial.
You got me all choked up with that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such an honor to be able to give back. And I think that we need to celebrate you all as much as we possibly can. I did a post this morning about thanking a hero, because I think it's just so important. Some days that would be the only thank you they got, or the only positive they got. And for a lot of veterans, I know it's such a great thing to hear. So thank you. That's very kind of you to bring that up. Let's talk about real estate for a minute, because I know that's also one of your passions. So tell us about the real estate world. Give us a little idea about how you kind of developed your, because you can take the license and then you're like, okay, now what do I do?
That's exactly it.
That's exactly it. So take them through a little bit of the journey, and then maybe how you figured out what your niche was, or how you figured out how you were going to attack the market, which has changed, continues to change so much over the years.
It does.
But I think it's really good for realtors who are out there maybe struggling to get some insights from a realtor veteran.
Okay. So as I mentioned before, I left the Postal Service and I got my real estate license. Linda had already been in the business for a few years. And mind you, 2009 is a tumultuous time in real estate. Things were crazy. It was kind of like the Wild West. What is an as-is contract? We didn't even really see those things until, the REO started hitting the market back in 2008, 2009, 2007. And so anyways, I've been interested in real estate for quite a while. I mean, I think everybody has a little interest in real estate. Whether they act or not is a whole nother deal. So I had actually been buying and selling real estate since I was old enough to do so. And it's a fantastic way to make money. Now, it might take part of your sanity from you if you happen to get into property management.
100%.
So we've experienced both. First of all, our brokerage is a traditional boutique sales brokerage. But what we've done in the past personally was buy real estate, sell real estate, lease it, rent it, both commercial and residential, which are two completely different animals. And had an opportunity to do an option at one point. But the real estate market, the way it looks now, in my opinion, I think the buyers have a leg up right now because of what's happening. The market has come to a plateau, so we're leveling out. Would you agree with that, Ted?
I absolutely feel that exact same thing, and I feel like you're right. The buyers definitely have. The listings are staying a little bit more longer on the market. But it's basically stabilizing a little bit.
That's the word. Bingo. You just hit it. Stabilizing, which is really good for everybody. I mean, I know if you want to sell something, you probably missed a boat about 6 months, 8 months ago was probably peak. If that's probably when we started trending, level. But if you're a buyer and you're interested, and we love helping veterans. Veterans have an amazing benefit called the VA loan.
It's my favorite. Preach. Let's talk about that.
And so in 1944, Congress passed the VA bill, which had part in it the VA loan, which allowed the GIs coming back from overseas who didn't have very much money an opportunity to actually buy real estate, to buy a home to live in, not for an investment, but buy a home as your homestead. And over the years, we've done many of these. I've actually taught a class on how to use the VA loan, how to set yourself up for success, to use the VA loan to help you in the future. Very well received. I think that to do something like that, I really probably need to get back into doing that again.
Well, I'd love for you to do that. I love a VA loan. It's my favorite, truly my favorite loan to do. Because the benefit is there. I love the history you just gave. Our CEO is a veteran, and it's just I think there are a lot of myths and misconceptions out there in the real estate community about VA loans, and them for some reason being more difficult or taking longer. And I'm sure Brian can attest that is just a myth and a misconception, and that VA loans are strong and amazing, and the give back. There's just so much. There's a lot of vets, believe it or not, you can probably attest to this too, that have not used it. And there are even some veterans that don't know they have it. They don't know they have the benefit of that. And so the education part, Brian, I'd love you to teach a class or teach a webinar or seminar on that, because I think
it sounds good, Ted. There are some exclusions. But for the most part, you're right. Most veterans might not even be aware of the fact that if they have a service-connected disability, they don't even pay the funding fee. So it's basically like moving into a house, and you're actually saving money, maybe because you're not paying that first monthly mortgage payment that you have to pay every month. But so for every veteran deal that we've done, we've actually given a little bit back to the veteran to help them at close. So the veteran, the VA loan is a part of what we do. It's not exclusively what we do, but it is part of what we do. And we really love to and the feeling of getting a veteran in a home is a fantastic feeling too.
It's so amazing. I mean, I've got several VA loans that we're doing right now. I love working with vets. I just think that it's rewarding, which sounds like a selfish thing, but it's a beautiful thing when you get to see them move in and get that clear close, and it's a VA loan. And that's just one small way for us as a country and an industry to get back to the vets. It's one small benefit. Before we head out, two things. I want you to share how people can reach you, they can learn more about your business, and if veterans out there, if they want to pick Brian's brain, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure. I'm available to anybody that would like to chat. I've been a mentor and a mentee many different times. So you can find me on Facebook. I have my realtor pin. I have my realtor pin logo. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. I can see it.
You can see that I have my realtor pin logo as it's not zoom. It's not focusing as my profile pic. My website is very easy. It's fla-intl.com. And the Navy League, if anybody wants to find out more about that or join, it's $25 a year. You do not have to be a Navy person. You don't even have to be a veteran. That's cfnavyleague.org. That's Charlie Foxtrot NavyLeague.org. And one last bit I would like to share with everybody is I have since I'm the chairman, I would be remiss if I didn't include, you can get your own paver. This size right here is $500, and a 4x8 is $150. And so we have these at the memorial. The memorial is comprised of 3 different parts. It has 2 bronze-sized statues, one of which is our very own creation, Don Reynolds. Famous Don Reynolds designed and created the Blue Jacket Recruit. And she's a 7-foot bronze statue at the memorial. And we have these for sale at the website as well. These are $99 shipped directly to you. And so I wanted to add those in there.
I'm glad you did. And I'll put the CF, it's CF or CFL Navy League.
CFNavyLeague.org.
Oh, that's right. Charlie Foxtrot.
That's
all right. Before we head out, I have one question for you. I consider all vets heroes to me, regardless of your service. I know you kind of minimized that earlier, but I do respect that. When I say the word hero to you, who's the first person who comes to mind?
You know, it's funny to say that, but I have to say, my dad's dad, and his dad, they all served, and my mom as well. They all served in the Army. They all served in the Army, and when they found out I went Navy, needless to say, there was a little bit of ruckus in the Warner household.
I would imagine.
And the rest is history. But I have to say, my lineage, you know,
it's beautiful. You're an amazing friend to me, to our community, to the veteran community and the real estate community. Y'all reach out to Brian. He's just as amazing in person as he is right here on the TED Show. Thank you, Brian. Go to FLA-INTL.com, CFNavyLeague.org. I'll get you all that information in the comments below. Thank you, my friend. You're a blessing. Thank you so much. Thank a vet today. If you're watching this, please just thank them. It's such an easy thing to do, that kindness. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Brian Warner. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks for having me, Ted.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.